In working with leaders through the years, I've discovered that one of the reasons that they struggle with alignment is because they don't have a framework for it. So in a lot of my work, what I'm doing is actually helping them to understand what the key elements to alignment are in a framework that's very measurable and very observable when you think about how people interact and you see how these different pieces work with one another. So there's four key pieces that we look at and we think about strategically and very intentionally when we do the work of alignment. The first is the customer. And business doesn't exist without a customer. That's all there is to it. Business is a human art. We're all human beings. We don't have a product or service that we can be successful with without having a customer. So we begin by understanding what the customer is looking for, what is going to create the fulfillment on the customer's part, and we begin by understanding what drives customer behavior. And of course, that behavior and understanding that behavior is true in both commercial or consumer markets, as well as the business to business, the B2B marketplace, as we like to refer to it as. So we begin there. From that, then, the next step, and by the way, if this sounds to you a bit like strategic planning, it really is, in basic construct, how we go about doing great strategic planning. We begin with the customer. The second piece then is, what is our strategic intention? You can call this a mission, purpose. You can call this your competitive advantage. In your business, you can call this anything you like. In the end, what you're doing is answering the question, why is the customer spending their money with us and not our competitors? Because after all, that's what we're in business for, is to win the customer in the marketplace, to compete and win for that customer. So what strategic intention does, it helps us to understand and be really clear about what the value of the product or service is, which creates the customer fulfillment, and to come at that very, very strategically, and to distinguish ourselves through that strategic intention from our competitors. So whatever that is, whether it's the great design of our product, whether it's the engineering or technology that's in it, whether it's the preeminence of that technology, perhaps it's that our strategic intention is to build community and bring people to a community through product or service. Whatever it happens to be, we need to be able to be very clear and very articulate about that. After all, the performance of all the parts of our business and every individual within the construct of that business, our intention here is to align everyone to doing and committing to their utmost to contribute to that outcome. The third key piece in the framework then is culture. And the discovery here is simple and powerful. It is that the more the internal behaviors of your culture align to externally to your strategic intention and to the customer experience, the more powerful you are, the more believable, the more authentic and genuine the experiences of the customer in terms of how it is that you're providing that product or service to them. So culture provides us with a framework for what's acceptable, unacceptable behavior within the construct of the organization, of the team, and it is those patterns and norms of behavior need to be in alignment, again, to what the customer experiences. And then, of course, the key influence on that gives us the fourth piece of the framework. So along with customer and strategic intention and culture is leadership. And the alignment process here, I think, is much, much richer than one would expect. Leadership has a tremendous influence on culture. And leadership, of course, is also responsible for articulating the vision, the purpose, the mission statement, the strategic intention. And in today's world, with the transparency and the availability of information and how we see business occurring, very often the customer experience is directly related to the leader of the organization as well. And we see multiple examples of that, everything from Walt Disney to Steve Jobs to Jack Welch, to Howard Schultz at Starbucks. We see this over and over, that there's an alignment that occurs alignment of leadership to culture, to strategic intention, as well as the customer experience and perception. So when we look at the framework for alignment, really bringing those four elements, those four key parts into really into sync with one another, into that alignment, that's the power and beauty of a great business. That's what all great businesses, what all great organizations, regardless of whether they're small or they're large multinationals, you see that great high-performing companies, organizations, you'll see those four elements in alignment.